What's up guys, MasterFiggy here, and a happy anniversary to Pokemon, which is 20 years old today. And back when Pokemon was out, I absolutely loved it. The games, the anime, the toys, they were great. I absolutely loved Pokemon. I still enjoy Pokemon, and it's such a great franchise. Now, I wasn't actually going to do a Pokemon video. I told a friend of mine I was going to do a video. He asked if it was going to be Pokemon related. I said no because I had two ideas planned. But I didn't realize until today that this was the actual day of the 20th anniversary. So then I decided, right, I'll do my top 10 Gen 1 Pokemon, because that was the generation that, I really remember a lot better. I remember watching those episodes, almost every day. I had some on video, some on DVD. Well, no, not on DVD, but I had the first movie, the third movie on tape. Then eventually I did get the second and third movie, and I'll eventually get the first one on DVD. Now let's get started with this top list. And just before we actually get into the top 10 themselves, there are some honorable mentions. For starters, the legendaries and Ditto. I didn't want to put in any legendaries or Ditto itself, because one, the legendaries would be more predictable to put in the list, and they're really powerful and they are really cool, but I just didn't want to put them in the list. Secondly, Ditto, again, it just felt like a cliche putting it in the list, because it could turn into any Pokemon like ever. So I didn't really feel right putting it in the list. Other honorable mentions go to Lapras and Scyther, because one, Scyther just looks like a badass, a bug with like swords for hands. The only downside really is that it doesn't really know great moves. Second one, Lapras, is just sort of like has a really cool design, and it's not something absolutely amazing as such, but it's still pretty cool. And those episodes where Ash and Misty and Tracy were just riding Lapras sailing across the sea, that was pretty cool. So let's get this top 10 started with Brock's signature Pokemon, Onix. Onix is a pretty badass looking Pokemon. It's a giant snake made out of rock. That's pretty awesome in my opinion. Onix is a pretty badass Pokemon. It's kind of lame in the sense that, when you first saw battle Pikachu and Ash had the Pikachu, activate the water sprinklers, it was kind of lame. You just see these sort of like little tiny droplets like hitting Onix, which is this massive thing. It's huge. And it was a little bit lame, but the design of Onix itself, it is somewhat simple. You're just putting boulders together, and they just, say, hey, just make it a giant rock snake. But there's just something really cool about its simplicity. Also, it can know some really cool moves like, you can teach it strength, the HM, Rock Tomb, Rock Slide. I just can't remember the moves right now, but I remember using Onix a few times in the games, and I did find it really useful, especially going against the Elite Four. So Onix is definitely deserving to be on the top 10. This next one might seem a little bit odd to some people, but number 9 on the list is Arbok and Weezing. Mainly because they were used by Team Rocket, and I really don't know what it was. Even when they were Ekans and Coughing, I still thought those Pokemon were cool. When you sort of realize it now, now Coughing is kind of, before it turns into Weezing, you realize it's such an asshole, because it's just this giant ball of polluting the whole area, and it's just smiling at you going, yeah, screw you, environment. So I'm just realizing that now, and then Weezing as it is now, it just sort of a mutated Coughing. And I know it just sort of seems disgusting, but I don't know what it is about Coughing. It just looks, Coughing and Weezing, I just really like them, purely because of Team Rocket. Arbok is a pretty cool, a snake Pokemon. Uh, not a huge amount to say. I just really enjoyed them when Team Jesse and James used them. Now, this next one is a little bit odd in my opinion because I do like it and I've used it a few times in the games, and it is pretty powerful. Like, it's alright. And this Pokemon is Electabuzz, an electric type Pokemon, as you could probably assume by its name. And, it's a very weird Pokemon when you first see it because it looks like a really weird looking alien that has basically tiger stripes painted on it. It is a really strong Pokemon to use. I can just remember this episode where Ash and Pikachu were trapped in this power station of some sort, and there's just this really angry Electabuzz just chasing them and trying to electrocute them. And, you really do not want to mess with that Pokemon. And, that's pretty much all I have to say. I just really liked Electabuzz. It was pretty cool. Number 7 on the list is Psyduck. Again, this isn't really a Pokemon that's hugely powerful as such, but I preferred it mainly because of its role in the animated series, Misty Psyduck in particular. And, it was very strange. It just sort of came out for no real reason. And also, when it was using confusion, shit is gonna go down when those eyes start glowing, and just basically getting Psyduck to get a headache the whole time. Like, I remember, I think at one point Misty was actually punching Psyduck's head, and Psyduck was really powerful in the series. In the games, I never actually really used Psyduck. I should probably try it sometime, but yeah, Psyduck was funny as well. There was also the episode with Misty's Golduck. I won't ruin that if no one has seen it. But yeah, Psyduck, it definitely holds a certain place in my heart for it. And the design as well, it isn't very complex. It's not very detailed. It's just a very simple shape for, any creature really. It's just sort of a yellow circle with a yellow circle on top. Just draw the beak and the feet. It's not that difficult. So yeah, Psyduck is a really weird Pokemon, and I think it definitely deserves a spot on this list. Okay, so number 6 on the list is kind of a draw as well, and that is Growlithe and Arcanine. And I know it's pretty much the same Pokemon, but Growlithe gave off a lot more cuter sort of image really, and it's a lot more lovable in that state. And especially James's Growlithe, and you also had like pretty much every Officer Jenny in the older series anyway had a Growlithe. They were pretty cool. I'd love to have a Growlithe, just a little puppy that can breathe fire if like intruders came. It was pretty cool. And then you had Arcanine, which is just like the badass of all dogs. It was almost lion-like, really. And imagine just like riding an Arcanine through fields, possibly setting things on fire. My menacing mind at work there. But yeah, Arcanine, it just looked amazing. You can imagine it just like running through fields, jumping. Yeah, Arcanine and Growlithe, they're very similar. Well, Arcanine did evolve from Growlithe, but they are quite different in the way they're displayed. Growlithe is a lot more cuter, and Arcanine is a lot more majestic isn't actually the word I'm looking for, but it's similar to that. But yeah, they are really cool Pokemon. Number 5 on the list, I'm sure a lot of people will have it if they made their own list, and that is Gyarados. Gyarados, it's a very strange Pokemon. It's possibly, now, I don't know how out of date I am with this information, but I heard if you exclude the legendary Pokemon, it is the most powerful Pokemon there is. Now, I did hear that a few years ago, I won't lie, and I don't know how dated that information is, and I don't know if it still is the most powerful Pokemon to this day. excluding legendaries. But it is a really powerful Pokemon. I've used it tons and tons of times. Uh, it's the only thing that really bothers me about Gyarados is the fact that it's not a dragon type Pokemon, and it's clearly a Chinese dragon. But yeah, that is really annoying. And then one other thing actually is that it's a water and it's a flying type. It cannot learn fly. A Pidgey can learn fly, but Gyarados can't. I mean that I know Gyarados doesn't have any wings, but it is classified as a flying type. Pidgeys can use flying, or can use fly, even though it's possibly like the size of my hand if it was in real life. And Scyther as well, they can't use fly either. What the hell? But again, I'm getting distracted with the fly. Gyarados is pretty cool. I've taught to use Ice Fang before, Thunder Fang. A lot of the moves are really useful, like Hydro Pump, Hyper Beam, Surf, uh, Dive. There are a lot of moves Gyarados can use that are absolutely really useful to use in any or almost any battle. It is a really cool Pokemon. The problems I had with it did affect its ranking on the list, but it was still a really cool Pokemon, so I can't leave it out. Next up is my favorite electric Pokemon, or at least from Gen 1 anyway, and that is Jolteon. Jolteon is a really weird choice for me because the design wise, compared to Flareon and Vaporeon, and probably the other Eevee evolutions, the design, it's very basic, as I said already with Psyduck, but this design in particular is a lot more basic, and it's just pretty much just points. But I think it's possibly the way they're drawn and how well they are drawn. Uh, I don't know. The design wise for this Pokemon is, I wouldn't say it's amazing, but something about it that really sort of makes me remember it a lot easier. It does have a really cool design. It's not very detailed, and I can't really explain it, but it just looks really cool. Even though I know Flareon and Jolteon have a lot more detail to them, and it makes them look a lot better, Jolteon just has that basic sort of design, and yeah, it is really cool. Move wise, it's pretty useful. Uh, you know, I just did not like using Magnemite, Voltorb, and then a lot of the times, I'd have to go through Viridian Forest, to try and find a Pikachu, and I just did not want to go through that. So I was just like, right, get an Eevee, evolve it into Jolteon, and it was a really useful Pokemon. It's really cool. Don't really think people use Jolteon as much compared to the other evolutions, but give it a chance. It's pretty good. Yeah, you're probably thinking, why is it number 4 on my list if I just think it's pretty good? Well, there's just something about Jolteon, as I said already, the design, and I could imagine having like a Jolteon, as a pet. It's pretty cool Pokemon choice in my opinion. Alright, we're in the top 3 now, and number 3 is Charizard. Other people will probably be wondering, why is it so low? Well, it's not a dragon type, even though it looks more like a dragon than Gyarados, and it has a lot more sort of detail as a dragon compared to Dragonite. It looks more like a dragon than Dragonair and Dratini, but they just decided to make it a flying fire type. So at least it can actually learn fly, unlike Gyarados. But it's the starter, or the final form of the starter that everyone chooses, which is Charmander, and it is a really cool Pokemon, but I kind of get sick of it being, a lot of people go to, oh, Charizard's the best and all this. I don't. I really do like Charizard. Charizard's a really cool Pokemon. Again, as I said already, riding like an Arcanine through fields. You can imagine flying on a Charizard. You know, in the air. As you said, fire to things. Yeah, my destructive mind is really, dark at times, so I'm being really light as possible. But yeah, setting fire to things. Keep saying that. Flying through the air with Charizard. I can always remember in the anime when he used Cosmic Toss. Two particular times when it got like a Poliwrath and Magmar, and it just flew around for a while, and then you saw it like flying around the world, or what it felt like to them flying around the world, and it did look pretty cool. It was always hilarious when Ash's Charizard wouldn't listen to him; it would just set him on fire. And Charizard itself did redeem itself, in the third movie, and there was another time I just can't remember. And even when you saw Charizard versus Charizard in the first Pokemon movie, it was really cool to see. Yeah, Charizard is a really cool Pokemon, but it does annoy me that a lot of people are like, "Oh, Charizard's the best Pokemon ever," and not saying they're wrong, but it's just kind of annoying hearing it over and over again. So number 2 on the list is Haunter. Uh, yeah, Haunter, the ghost Pokemon in Gen 1, you only had 3: Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar. Haunter is actually the freakiest of the ghost Pokemon. You have the hands that are separated from the body. Uh, I remember in the anime, it loved to have fun, just the way it sort of like lick Ash in a way, like creeped him out. Uh, yeah, Haunter was a really cool Pokemon. The moves are actually alright. I remember using Haunter against Sabrina, because I actually saw it in the anime first, and then I was like, right, use it, and it was really useful. I defeated her pretty quickly. I feel like I have less to say about the Pokemon that are at the top of my list, but I just really enjoy them. The designs are actually really cool in my opinion. Uh, I feel Haunter is a lot more threatening than Gengar in a way. I don't know why, but I just feel that way. But I can understand why they sort of placed him a lot more powerful than Haunter. But I do think Haunter is a really cool Pokemon. Anyone who knows me will probably guess, uh, what's my number 1 on this list. And if you don't, number 1 on the list is, well, it's Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise. Those 3 Pokemon. Uh, Squirtle is a really badass. I love the fact that in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, you got to actually play as Squirtle. I loved it. I played as Squirtle more than I did Charizard and Ivysaur. I don't know what. I just love the way it like spinning its shell, rapid spin, just like hitting the opponents. The Wartortle was okay. It's not my absolute favorite. Uh, just mainly because of like the things on its head. And then Blastoise is just this badass, turtle with a gun coming out of its shell. It is a tank. Blastoise, I don't know what it is, and it was always cool to me. Turtles, I don't know what it is about turtles, but I think it was mainly because of the cartoon TMNT. I did really love turtles when I was a kid. I thought Squirtle was really cool, especially when you saw him in the Squirtle Squad. I don't know, I feel as if I have less to say about the Pokemon that are at the top rather than those at the bottom. But yeah, I just really liked Squirtle, the color choices. He was really cool. I loved using him in battles in the games. I do really like the Squirtle design. Uh, Blastoise was just like a badass turtle with a gun. Like, that's just awesome. Also, I have my very own Squirtle right here. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. My apologies if a particular Pokemon isn't on this list. You guys have to remember this was my personal opinion. And also, if you want to make your own list, please send it to me. I'd love to hear other people's opinions. So check out more of my videos when you can. Hope to see you guys again. I do not know when I'll be doing another video, because I said like the last 2 videos I'll do a video next week, and it's been 2 weeks since the last video I've done. So I don't know when the next time I'll do a video, but hopefully I'll be doing one ASAP. Thank you guys for watching, and again, I hope to see you guys soon.